our lives started out rather basic. There was nothing in our childhood or college or military experiences that would have prepared us for the life that was in store for us. Hi, I'm Katie Keene, and I would like to welcome you to our podcast today. I want to tell you a little bit about myself. I was born into a Navy family. My dad was a military officer, and we moved all the time. I am the oldest of 4 kids, and during our years with the military, we moved from coast to coast, and we moved internationally as well. So I was glad to have siblings, and every time that we would move away from a new location, it would hurt, and we would be sad, and we would grieve for the friends and the community that we left behind. But I was so thankful because I always had built-in friends. I had my sisters, I had my brother, and I had my mom and dad. Over the time that we spent moving, I was able to see a lot of America, and I was able to experience a whole lot of cultures that were so fascinating to me, and I absolutely fell in love with them. I finally made it through high school and college, and had moved probably to 11 different places by the time that I was 18, somewhere around there. So here's Steve.
My experience was quite different up to that point, that same point where Katie and I first met. See, I was born in a small town in North Carolina. The class that I was in had 75 people. I knew every single person. I knew their first, middle, and last name. I knew their brothers, their sisters, older, younger, all that kind of stuff. So it was quite the small town experience. When I was 16, I decided, when I graduate from high school, I'm going to join the Navy. And so that's what I did. I enlisted in the Navy right out of high school and was fortunate to pick up a ROTC scholarship and go to North Carolina State University and finish that degree program there and the commissioning program. And then I was off to Navy Dive School, which was really cool. And immediately after that is when I met Katie, when I was up in Rhode Island. Her dad was also stationed there in Rhode Island. That was a short-term class that I was there for, only about 5 or 6 months. And so I promptly moved away, actually down to South Texas, and that is where we began dating long distance for 2.5 years.
So after the 2.5 years of dating and talking on the phone all the time and really getting to know each other at a very deep level, through all of those hours invested in just talking, we got married. And for me, that was the first time I ever moved away from my family. So that was a challenge for me. They had been my strength and support, but I was on a new adventure. We moved down to Florida, and Steve promptly began explosive ordnance disposal school. He was really busy, and I had a job. So it was a fun year, though. We had a really nice time enjoying the beautiful location and just being together. So we promptly moved to Italy, which was quite a surprise. We weren't expecting to go there, but it was a good surprise. Steve was deployed frequently, though, which was really hard. I really missed him, and I relied on the friends that I had made there in Italy and traveled home quite a bit. While we lived there, we had our first child, and everything seemed like it should go well and be normal until the very end. He was born, and within 20 so hours, we noticed that he was having seizures. We were medevaced and found out in Germany in the NICU that he had had a stroke. So we were promptly returned to the U.S. Our orders were cut short, and we were on our way back by the time he was only 8 weeks old. Thankfully, after a lot of observation and intervention, he is okay.
And at that point, we were back in the U.S. to stay. And for the next 8 years or so, we moved several more times around the United States. We had eventually 4 more children. And over the course of time, their lives, we began to notice that 2 of them had special needs issues that were quite separate from the ones that our firstborn had and resolved. And that was the continuation, but the real deepening of our special needs mission and journey as a life of special needs family. In 2014, I retired from the Navy and began a transition period, and quite frankly, that's when things got really, really hard for us as a family. but for the sake of time, you're going to have to tune into our podcast called Why, and you'll figure out and hear the rest of the story and know why we are doing what we are doing. So thanks so much.